Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut. In the previous episode, we went around the Kreis Bazaar, picked up a few extra missions, and then started the Lodge trial run. We went around here, picked up some stuff, got something off of a stressed suit. Didn't find anything we really needed to purchase, but doesn't matter, because now we have to keep moving forward. First, let's talk to this knight-errant security guard. The guard stance shifts slightly as you approach. Can I help you? Yeah, could you open the door to the utility area? We have some work to do in there. You can't read the guard's expression through his mirrored face mask, but his body language makes it clear he's staring at you. The door is security coded, Delta grade. Your ID says that you're just a Theta, so no, I can't open the door. You're not listening. We have work to do in there. I heard her loud and clear, Mop Jockey. Now you listen to me. Nobody without Delta clearance gets through this door. Period. I'd suggest that you talk to management. If you really do need to be in here, they'll upgrade your clearance. Otherwise, piss off. Now, in order to get something really useful out of this guy, you need Charisma 3 and the security etiquette. Otherwise, it's going to make this job more complicated. Well, cool down. We're on the same side here. This is a dispatch problem. I'm sure of it. I don't envy you guys having to work with them every day. The guard's shoulders relax. Yeah, I hear ya. I swear, it's amazing that anyone gets anything done at all around here. Tell you what, you don't need to go all the way back to management. Just call in and get your clearance changed. I'll let you guys in as soon as the authorization comes through. With etiquette security, nah, I'd better go take care of this in person. But one thing before I go. Instead of this week's protocols, they sent us out with last week's. Anything changed since then? He shakes his head. Unbelievable. You know, it makes my blood boil to think of how much money they make. It's people like you and me that are actually keeping this place running. And yet the idiots at dispatch pull in triple for what we do sitting on their asses and fouling everything up? Right there with you, man. Now, about those protocols. Yeah, let's see. They changed the emergency assistance code from November to Indigo. I think that's it. Everything else should be the same from last week. Indigo. Yeah, thanks. Now I'd better head back to management and get that clearance issue sorted. He nods sagely. Best of luck, pal. Do us all a favor and call out those idiots at dispatch. Not that it'll do any good. On second thought, don't bother saying anything. They'd just wind up getting another raise. Don't I know it. Take care of yourself. Yeah, you too. Boy, it is such a shame what we're going to have to do to him. Now then, we're going to need to head down this way with that clearance code, or emergency code in tow, to a security monitoring station. We're going to need to talk to this guy. If you came here earlier, you couldn't really do anything. Guard steps forward, interposing himself between you and the terminal. Your security clearance doesn't authorize you to be in here. If you attack him in the director's cut, attacking the enforcer will lock the terminal. So don't bother doing that. Instead, with the Indigo code, what we need to tell him is, your buddy across the way wanted me to give... I'm sure they meant to say give you, not give me, a message. Status Indigo, compromised? Does that mean anything to you? The guard jerks upright in alarm. He said, what? Step out of the way, please. Now we're going to inspect the security terminal. The terminal is logged into the building's security system. It should be relatively simple to trigger its threat assessment software into sending out a false positive. Enter the false data into the system to indicate threats coming from a far part of the complex, away from your target. A few response codes flash onto the screen. Alrighty then. Now with that, we're going to head back into the clothing shop. Not to buy anything... not to buy anything, but to inspect this. Now, we could have done this earlier, but it wouldn't have done us much good without also having this guy there. I mean, it would have done us some good, but not as much as we would have liked. Janus studies the junction box for a moment, then turns to face you. See that guard in the hallway? Well, he was standing next to a junction box just like this one. Looks like they're both on the same circuit, too. So I could use this one to overload the one that the guard is standing by. She looks at the junction box again and nods. Yeah, I could feed a nice power spike into that one from here. You know, if you wanted to. Wanted me to. What would that do? Make a loud bang and arc enough voltage into the hallway to knock out a gang of trolls. Fry 'em. We don't have much of a choice. The other option is starting a firefight, but that would help us. Get the Theta key card, even though we said this was Delta coded, so Then we hit the utility grid hub. Wordlessly, Jaina pops an access panel at the base of the terminal and begins snipping wires. A few minutes later, she replaces the panel's cover and stands. Alright, that should do it. I bypassed the security lock on the elevator. We're good to head upstairs. That was quick. I know my way around electrical systems. My father used to own rental properties all over Munich, and I helped him maintain them. She smiles shyly. I've been rewiring buildings since I was a little girl. Touching. I don't know what this has to do with getting me to my meeting, but please, by all means, keep waltzing down memory lane. We'll wait. I couldn't care less about your meeting, James, but we should keep moving all the same. James turns and stalks towards the doorway. The others follow behind him. Alright, nothing else left to do, so let's head upstairs. Alright, I'm going to need you to get me into this floor's access panel. That'll be in room 303 on this floor. The combination is 14291. She glances up at you. Make sure you write that down. Yeah, I've got it. Okay, once I'm in there, I can put the penthouse door in maintenance mode. That'll set its key code combination to 11111, so we shouldn't have any trouble getting in to plant the cameras. We've been making halfway decent time. Not good, but not terrible. But I can't afford any more delays. He cracks his knuckles. I hope that no one gets on our way for their own sake. You aren't hurting anyone unless I order you to. You got that? The mage's lips curl into a sneer. Yeah, I heard you. If I weren't under instructions to follow your lead, this would be a very different conversation. Yeah, well, you are, so shut up and deal with it. She shakes her head in disgust. God, I wish that we didn't need you to finish this job. Sadly for all of us, you do. Oh, and by the way, we're going to have words when this run is over, mouse. A stream of caustic syllables pours out of the elf's mouth. His back is stooped under the weight of his pack, but his hands have clenched into fists. He rolls his eyes and points a bony finger at the elf. Look, it's trying to speak. Ugh, I want to get this over with, Talia. I want to get away from these people and go home. Yeah, you and me both. But first things first, we're going to hit up room 301. The trendily designed panel reads Apartment 301. A slick, high-grade keypad has been mounted into the door frame. Use the keypad, which we got from the orc downstairs, which was... Where is it? Here we are. 53786. That opens it up, where we can get a cred stick with 200 nuyen on it, but there is also a fire escape that we can use. Let's see. Door leads out of the building's fire escape. Not a bad way to make an expedient retreat. No, it is not. Room 302, we can find a note about somebody talking to somebody about passions and how they must meet again. But without a decking of 4, we can't really act on that because, well, it would allow us to get some pay data or delete some pay data if we choose to. Then in here is a maintenance with a decking of 4 and cyber deck. You can head into the matrix through it, which will allow us to unlock the controls for 301 and 302 in case you didn't get the code. You can also gain access to a utility hatch, which is going to be useful for an escape that will allow you to avoid all fighting. Unfortunately, we don't have access to that, so we're going to have to find different ways out. Apartment 303. The key code was... what was it again? 14291. 1291. We inspect this. There's nothing else in the apartment to go through. Moving the painting aside, you find a large maintenance access panel. Jaina steps forward, a slight frown on her face. Okay, I guess this is me. She pulls a multi-tool from her belt and uses it to loosen the bolts that hold the panel in place. Pulling up a schematic on her PDA, she examines the terminal's wiring. Hurry it up, woman. The clock is ticking. Don't rush me. This is complicated. Popping the lid on her toolbox, she grabs a pair of wire clippers, a soldering gun, and a roll of electrical tape. With a look of grim determination on her face, she begins to snip into a massive harness of cables that runs through the unit. Alright, she taps the elf on the knee. I'm gonna need that thing now. He nods and reaches back to unsling his pack. Placing it on the floor, he opens it and pulls out a large blue canister. It takes all of his strength to wrestle it up from the ground and into the space in the access panel that Jaina has created. There you go, you dumb ox. Do something useful for a change. The elf says nothing. Unburdened by the heavy pack, he stands up straight. And for the first time you appreciate how much larger he is than the corporate mage. He stares down at James and his hands bunch into fists. James, for the last time, keep your damned mouth shut. I'll say whatever all of you, shut up. You're distracting me. The mage falls silent and Jaina goes back to work. It only takes a few minutes for her to screw, wire, and solder the canister into the harness. She inspects her work, nods, then turns to face you. See, alright, job's done. Just need to do a bit of cleanup and we can get out of here. Nice job, Jaina. Yeah, thanks. It wasn't all that difficult, just a matter of following our employer's instructions. Hey, that's great, but time's a-ticking, so let's keep moving. He glances at the jumble of wires and circuitry through the open access panel. To hell with the cleanup. We'll be gone before anyone notices anything. Just a second. What was that canister you put into the terminal? She shrugs. Beats me. For all I know, it could be full of pixie dust. They said that I had to wire it into the wall at this junction, so I did. I'm not comfortable with how little we know about this run. The mage sneers. You haven't been doing this long, have you? The Lodge doesn't tell you things that you don't need to know, and you don't ask. Your job is to do what they tell you, take the money, and keep your mouth shut about it afterward. It's all very simple. The Lodge? The mage's eyes widen incredulously. You don't even know who you're working for, do you? You're leading this team and you don't have a clue? Jaina cuts in, her eyes wide. Both of you, shut up! Somebody's coming. A tall, spray-tan man in an expensive suit rounds the corner at a jog and comes bustling into the room. He stops short when he sees your team. His eyes flick from you to the panel that Jaina pried from the wall, and the smile fades from his face. What the hell? This is my apartment. I own it. What are you doing in here? We're maintenance. Look at the uniforms. Yeah, I see that. But you can't be in here without my consent, and you sure as hell can't go tearing up my walls without giving me advance notice. James shoots you an irritated glance. This is a waste of time, and I'm already running late. If you don't take care of this idiot, I will. The elf barks something out at James. The sound is uncharacteristically ugly, all harsh consonants and sibilant hisses. Keep your mouth shut, James. I'll talk this out with our friend here. He bristles. Talk this out? The hell with that. We have a job to do, and he's in the way. Deal with him and do it fast so that we can get back on track. The homeowner looks shocked, but he recovers quickly. He takes a step toward James, and his hands balled into fists. All right, buddy, you've asked for it. I want to know your employee number, and I want to know it now. I'm a member of the Homeowners Association for this level. You know what that means? I have a lot of pull with building maintenance. He thrusts an outstretched finger at James. Your days wearing that uniform are numbered. I promise you that. Calm down, sir. There must be a problem at dispatch. You should have received a work order last week. I didn't receive a thing from dispatch or anyone else for that matter. My wife and I are entertaining guests here in an hour and a half, and our living room is ruined. I need to know that you're going to fix this, and that you'll clean this place up, and that you'll put a new coat of wax on the floors. I need... The hell with it. I don't have time for this. His hands twist into claws, and he raises them high. An instant later, they are wreathed in an unnatural purple glow. James, stand down. We do not need to kill this man. The glow intensifies into a scintillating torrent of light. The energy lances and stabs out of James's hooked fingers as if they were alive. The man in the doorway recoils in alarm, and his palm slaps down on the plastic disc that has been clipped to his belt. Too late, you recognize the object. Panic button. You cannot stop him from hitting the panic button or prevent him from getting away. But if you didn't start a shootout with security, diverted security, and took care of both of the knight errants downstairs, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. No alarms sound. Nothing happens. The homeowner backpedals, trying to put a wall between himself and James. He's moving too slowly. Much too slowly. James, let him go, damn it. The mage's response comes out with a snarl. He tried to bring security down on us. He isn't leaving this room. An incomprehensible screech cuts off the mage's sentence. In your peripheral vision, you catch a flurry of motion. Your elvish companion is moving, making a beeline towards James. Jane is hanging off him, trying to slow him down, but he barely seems to notice. Stop, damn it! We need him alive to complete the run! With a kick, he sends her tumbling to the ground, then turns back towards James. This is going to be important. You can either step between the elf and James. I hate the bastard too, but Jane is right, we need him. Draw your weapon. She's right, stop this or I'll put you down. Which you will be forced to kill either the foreign elf or James. Killing the foreign elf is what the lodge wants. Yeah. Or you can side with the foreign elf, kill James, which means you're essentially scrubbing the mission and you're standing with the lodge. I don't like James, and I don't like what the lodge is doing, keeping us in the dark like this. I'm with you, pal. To hell with the lodge, and to hell with this run. Mage half turns from the elf to you, his eyes wide with alarm. The ethereal glow from his hands flickers and sparks. Janus screams something, but with the blood pounding in your ears, you can't make out the words. James's jaw drops open. You're on him before you can speak. Now then, we have Jaina, the foreign elf, on our side. Jaina is not very skilled, but she comes with a super shocker, a defiant super shocker, which if it hits the enemy, will basically stun them. It does 3 AP damage, which is useful. Problem is, it has very limited range. The foreign elf comes equipped with a Uzi 3, not bad, and a katana, also not bad, very useful. Anyways, let's hit James with a full auto. Doesn't quite kill him, though I chalk that up to his armor. And for an elf, why don't you finish him off? If you hadn't done all those things downstairs, you would then have to deal with some knight errant coming after you. We did, so thankfully we don't. Now then, you now have to escape. If you head downstairs, you'll probably have to deal with some heavy KE response teams. And besides, going out the front door is just idiotic. If we head out the fire escape, we immediately exit the building and we'll still have to deal with some guys out front, but it'll be much easier. With the decking skill and cyber decking, if you get access to the maintenance hatch, then you can just go through there and you immediately get out without having to deal with any enemies. Unfortunately, we don't have access to that, so we're gonna have to take the next best thing and use the fire escape. If you chose to side with James and kill the foreign elf, then you would head up to the penthouse, enter the code, and have to deal with James antagonizing you, but you can ignore him. Alarms blare once you place the third camera, but if you did all the stuff downstairs again, you won't be confronted by KE security there. You can then escape. But we're obviously not doing it, so head down the fire escape. Like I said, we'll have to fight our way out, but there won't be anybody at the front doors. There will, however, be enemies within this area. And I'm going to do my best to try to keep Jaina and the foreign elf alive. Should probably swap him back over to his Uzi. Anyways, the enemies are going to be in this area, so we're going to want to be careful. There's one. I know there's another one. There's 3. And there's also the guy that you met at the station. Hit him with some full auto. Be careful because, well, Jaina and the foreign elf are somewhat squishy. I'm going to try and place the foreign elf here. Jaina, I'm just going to have hang back. Ah. Well, better than being shot at. See what I mean? Okay, I'm going to get in here. And I just remembered I forgot to switch back my effing par. Oh well. Let's see, foreign elf, why don't you take some shots at her? Good, she's down. Jaina, you get over here next to the elf. For whatever reason, having somebody standing there, like on the other side of the plant, and being shot at from that direction counts as being flanked for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you why. Anyways, got him. Let's see, can you take a shot at him? No, but you can't take a shot at that guy. Make it an aim shot. Ugh, blocked. Not good. Alright, let's split up so that that grenade launcher can't do as much damage. Switch over to the pistol. Okay, let's go for the full auto on this guy. Take him out. I'm pretty sure my allies can take out this guy. Ah, out of ammo, of course. And that's it. Not too difficult to battle as long as you diverted forces away, so hey. Anyways, with that, we gotta get out of here. Now then, at this point, if you did side with James, came down here, you'll get a call from Luca Dewar. He'll comment on your performance. He'll comment that the elf being killed was inevitable, but he'll also be surprised if either Jaina or James survives, especially James because, well, he expected you to shoot him in the face. Then he'll ask you to enter a code into the PDA, and you'll get to see firsthand what you accomplished, and, well, Jaina's not going to be happy. From what I've read online, it appears as though what you placed was actually a bomb. They never intended to spy on the guy, just to kill him. So, yeah, I've made the right choice. Cavernous tunnel of the U-Bahn line stretches out before you. In the dim fluorescence of the station's lights, it looks like it stretches on forever. Jaina stares at you through red-rimmed eyes. You killed him! James, he was a prick, but we needed him. By scrubbing the mission, you probably killed me too. I'm sorry, Jaina, but James wanted to kill an innocent man. He had to be dealt with. Yeah, you dealt with him all right, and you screwed me over by doing it. Her voice is full of venom. The only reason I'm even here tonight is because I owe the lodge a debt. This was my one chance to pay it off, and now I can't, and they won't forget that. Her composure cracks. Trembling, she raises her hands to hide her face. Oh God, I'm effing dead. They're going to kill me, and I can't. She doubles over, sobbing. What am I going to do? The elf steps forward. Gently, he raises his hand on her shoulder. She raises her head. He rests his hand on her shoulder. She raises her head to look up in response. He exhales heavily, and a jumble of broken German pours out of his mouth. You will help. Keep safe. Lodgemen, bastards. No give harm. We go. We together go, outside Berlin. Your people, out as well. Jaina blinks up at him, but holds her silence. I think he's saying that he'll protect you. You'll need to get your people out of the city, though. She blinks away the tears, scowling. Yeah, I got that. I'm thinking. After a long pause, she looks back up at the elf and nods. All right, we can go back home. Yep, we'll go back home, get my boyfriend and my cat, and we'll run. We'll all go to wherever the hell you're taking us. Red-faced, she glances back over her shoulder at you. You've ruined my life. I want you to know that. Once an organization like the Lodge gets its hooks into you, it never lets go. If you think that finishing this run would have changed anything, you're fooling yourself. She stares at you for a long moment, her cheeks flushed. Slowly, she turns back to the elf, a miserable expression on her face. Together, they board the train. She knows I'm right. She just doesn't want to admit it, because that would mean she would have nobody to be angry at but herself. With nothing left to do here, you follow them. So yeah, if you do complete the Lodge trial run to their satisfaction, they will have other tasks that show up in other missions, like with the Humanist mission, wherein they tell you to let their leader go. I'm not down for stuff like that. You do apparently get some incredible armor if you do all their tasks, but it's not worth sacrificing my soul for it. Your return trip to the Christ Bazaar is a lonely one. You spend the ride in quiet contemplation. The bugs that you were meant to plant in Alishire's penthouse rattle in your pocket. Cheerful sound and an intangible reminder of your decision to scrub the run. Your audition is over. The Lodge, whoever they are going to have to find themselves another Shadowrunner. We only get 2 karma out of that. Nothing new from Sam. Oh, and don't bother trying to return to the cafe where Luca Dewar was, because he's going to be gone. Anyways, got a little bit of time left, so let's talk to others. There's some people. Even from a distance, it is clear that something is not right with Lane. Coming closer, you can see dried blood on his face and clothes, as well as a few discolored blotches that pass for bruises on troll skin. More noticeably, there is considerable damage to the man's left prosthetic leg, which he now tends to with tools as antiquated as the leg itself. You alright, Alexei? I'm fine. Nothing a few swings of a wrench can't fix, or a few swings of a crutch. Someone came at me, thinks me weak, and I show him otherwise. Leaning on one side, Lane's crutch is caked in more blood and what appears to be bits of hair. Tell me who did this to you. Just a punk with some bad ideas. Forget about it. Are you sure you're alright? I've suffered far worse, as you might imagine, and I don't need you or anyone else babying me. I'll leave you be. Simi, anything new? Simi Kim leans against the wall, her head downcast and her face lost in shadow. Sensing your presence, she looks up, revealing a black eye poorly covered by concealer. And still she smiles at you. Hello, Talia. How are you? Who gave you the shiner? I don't know what you're talking about. Did you want something? Because I've got things to do. You know, Zach says he has a new sim for me. One with aliens and a little girl I need to save. She's waiting for me, and I can't let her down. Is something going on around here? There's always something going on. It's the flux, right? It gives, it takes. Sometimes it takes more than it gives. And some things it takes are gone forever. Friends that disappear. Family that dies. People like Monica. I don't much like the flux. In The Sims, you can have the same happy day over and over. You can skip past the parts you don't like, or replay the good moments as many times as you want. I can't think of any parts of real life I'd want to play over, and plenty of parts I wish I could skip. So how'd you end up here? I don't know. I was living on the streets since I was a kid. Had no family, no home. We got mixed up with some bad people, and I had a bad day. Ended up owing them money. Too much money. I got beat up pretty bad. Needed a doctor, but couldn't pay for one. Then I found Doc Escabel. Or he found me. I can't really remember. He said he could help me. He gave me the money up front. But he said I had to come back for medicine every month until it was time to pay him back. And I did. I took the medicine, just like he said. I really don't want to talk about this anymore, okay? Yeah, you take care of yourself. Whatever I have to do. Before we end off, let's see if we can talk to Dr. Escabel about that. See if he has anything to say. Yeah. Okay. Nope. Can't talk to him about Simi. Okay then. Well, guess with that, we're just going to have to end this episode off here for today. I'm actually running out of time for this. So with that, I guess I'll end it off here for today. If you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when I upload, or to hit the straw poll link to vote for our next Let's Play. And please, leave a comment down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.